Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting session of the Astro Club. So today we are going to learn a very important and a very interesting topic. And we're going to actually learn about a mission, a new mission of NASA, and it is one of the most expensive and one of the most famous upcoming missions of NASA. So the name of the mission is Artemis. So today we are going to learn all about Artemis and some of the interesting facts about Artemis. So Artemis is a new NASA program to explore the moon. So one of the astronauts on Artemis mission will be the first woman on the moon. So basically they're going to send two astronauts onto the surface of the moon as a part of this mission. So one astronaut is going to be a male astronaut and the second astronaut is going to be a female astronaut. So one of the astronauts will be the first woman on the moon. And the male astronaut is going to be the second one onto the moon because already once Neil Armstrong has stepped on the surface of moon. So he was the first male astronaut. So now as a part of Artemis mission, the second male astronaut is going to step on surface of moon. And the other astronaut will be the first woman on the moon. Okay, so Artemis is basically a new NASA program to explore the moon. And with this Artemis program, NASA will study the moon in a new and better way. Okay. So this is a general introduction about Artemis mission. So why the name Artemis? Why is this mission called as Artemis? So we all know that in 1969, as a part of the Apollo mission, the first astronauts landed on the surface of moon. So that mission was called as Apollo. The name Apollo came from the stories told by Greek people long ago. So basically in those Greek stories, Apollo was a god. In the Greek stories, Apollo was a god. So that mission was given the name as Apollo. So the Apollo mission in 1969, where the first astronauts landed on the moon. So Apollo had a twin sister. Apollo was actually a god of the Greek. So Apollo had a twin sister. She was Artemis. The twin sister of Apollo was Artemis. She was a goddess of moon in Greek stories. So since this Artemis mission is related to the moon, so they named the moon as they named this mission as Artemis. Yeah, did you all understand why the name Artemis?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, Akka.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah, so that's how this mission was given the name as Artemis. She was Apollo's twin sister and she was also the goddess of moon in the Greek stories. Okay, so NASA has selected 18 astronauts from its corps to form the Artemis team, who finished their first level of training. The first woman and the next man on the moon will come from this elite group. So the Artemis team of astronauts for future moon missions. So these are the 18 members who have undergone the training, and from these 18 members, they will select any two astronauts as a part of this mission. Okay. But for the future moon missions, if any moon missions happen in the future, for all those moon missions, the astronauts will be selected from this 18 members team only, because they've undergone the training which is necessary for all the moon missions. For Artemis, any two of them will be selected, one male and one female. And for the future moon missions also, from these 18 members only, they will be selected. And one proud moment is we have an Indian American in this team, Rajachari. Here you can see the third person in the top row, Rajachari. So he's an Indian American. So he was also given the training for this Artemis mission. But still we do not know which two astronauts will be going as a part of Artemis mission. Still it's not decided, but these 18 members have undergone the training. Okay, so this is about the team.
Okay, Akka.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the rocket which NASA is going to use for the Artemis mission. So NASA has a new rocket. It is called as the Space Launch System. The name of the rocket is Space Launch System. And it is also called as SLS in short form. For short, it is called as SLS. And it is the most powerful rocket in the world. So SLS will enable the astronauts to begin their journey to explore the destinations far into the solar system. So the name of the rocket is Space Launch System. It is called as SLS for short, and it's the most powerful rocket in the world. Okay, please mute.
Okay, Akka.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is about the rocket, which is Space Launch System. Now, let us get to know some facts, interesting facts about SLS. So here, meet the rocket. So NASA's SLS is a powerful advanced launch vehicle for a new era of human exploration beyond Earth's orbit. With its unprecedented power and capabilities, SLS is the only rocket that can send Orion, astronauts, and large cargo to the moon on a single mission. So SLS is the rocket, and we have the Orion. Orion is nothing but the spacecraft in which these astronauts will be placed. So these astronauts will be placed in that Orion spacecraft, and that Orion spacecraft is again placed inside the SLS. And SLS will also carry large cargo to the moon on a single mission. In one go, it can carry everything. It can carry the Orion spacecraft, it can carry the astronauts, it can carry the payload, and it can carry the large cargo. So that is the power of SLS. So SLS is designed to be flexible and evolvable and will open up new possibilities for payloads, including robotic scientific missions to places like Saturn and Jupiter. So this is the most advanced rocket which was built with new technology. So this SLS rocket can be used for future scientific missions also, for exploration of Saturn, Jupiter. In the future, for any mission, for any planetary mission, this SLS rocket can be used because it has that enormous amount of power and capabilities. Did you all understand?
Yes, Akka.
Yeah.
Yes, Akka.
So SLS will be NASA's first exploration. SLS will be NASA's first exploration class vehicle since the Saturn V took American astronauts to the moon. So if you see here, this is the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is 305 feet. The height of Statue of Liberty is 305 feet. And SLS, the height of SLS is 322 feet. And Saturn V, the height of Saturn V is 363 feet. So coming to Saturn V, when we discuss about Saturn V, as a part of Apollo mission, as a part of the Apollo mission, as we discussed earlier in 1969, as a part of Apollo mission, the astronauts were sent onto the surface of moon using the Saturn V rocket. Its height is 363 feet. So we may wonder, the Saturn V rocket is still there. Then why is NASA again spending huge amount of money, and why did it build another rocket called as SLS? You may get a doubt. Is this because Saturn V was built a long time ago, right? So it did not have the present technologies that has to be adapted to that. But SLS includes all the latest technological features, and it still has a lot of payload capacity and all of that. So that is the reason why NASA has spent again huge amount of money to build another rocket, which is the most advanced and powerful rocket, which is SLS. So here they are comparing the height of Statue of Liberty, SLS, Saturn V, and all of that. Then SLS will produce 13% more thrust at launch than the space shuttle and 15% more than Saturn V during liftoff and ascent. So the thrust produced by Saturn V is going to be 7.5 million pounds, and that of SLS is 8.8 million pounds. So see, the power has increased. Saturn V produced only 7.5 million pounds, but SLS is producing 8.8 million pounds. And also next, SLS will launch more cargo to the moon than the space shuttle could send to the low Earth orbit. So as I mentioned earlier, the payload capacity, the cargo capacity is also very high for SLS. So these are the interesting facts about SLS, as it's the most powerful rocket in the world. Next. So SLS will also carry the Orion spacecraft on the top, and Orion can carry up to 4 astronauts. So Orion will fly around and orbit the moon. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's get to know some interesting facts about Orion. So Orion is a partially reusable space capsule to be used in NASA's Artemis program. The spacecraft consists of a crew module capable of supporting a crew of 6 crew members can be seated there beyond the low Earth orbit. It is equipped with solar panels, an automated docking system, glass cockpit, and advanced engines, and many more. So Orion will fly around or orbit the moon, and a spaceship will be orbiting the moon like the moon orbits the Earth. Similar way, like the moon orbits the Earth, this spaceship will also be orbiting the moon. So if we get into the dimensions of Apollo and Orion, this is just a comparison of Apollo and Orion. When we talk about Apollo, the crew module diameter was 12.8 feet. But coming to Orion, the crew module diameter is 16.5 feet. So the crew size is here only 3, but here the crew size is 4. So the diameter of the service module, the length, mass, so everything is very advanced in Orion. So power, Apollo gets its power from batteries and fuel cells, but here Orion is getting from solar arrays and batteries. So you can just go through this slide, which is the comparison of all the parameters of Apollo as well as Orion. Okay? Did you all understand?
Yes, Akka.
Yeah.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah, okay, fine. Next. So a spaceship. So the spaceship will be called as the gateway. So Orion will connect to the gateway. So first the gateway spaceship will be orbiting the moon. Like this is a gateway spaceship, will be orbiting the moon. So Orion will come and connect to the gateway. Okay, astronauts will go from Orion to the gateway. Initially, astronauts will be seated in the Orion. After Orion gets connected to the gateway, astronauts will move from Orion to gateway. This is where astronauts will live as they orbit the moon. So finally, where do they live as they orbit the moon? Astronauts live in gateway as they orbit the moon. So the crew will take trips in spacecrafts called as landers to get to work on the surface of moon. So in order to work on the surface of moon, so they make use of these landers. They make use of these landers and they carry out their experiments on the surface of moon. So this SpaceX concept shows the company's massive Starship vehicle on the moon as a Mulan lander for NASA's Artemis astronauts. So this lander is being developed by SpaceX. You know SpaceX, right? Elon Musk's company. So this SpaceX is developing the lander, which the astronauts will use in order to carry out their experiments on the surface of moon as a part of Artemis mission. So see how much planning is required in order to send everything from here to the surface of moon. They're using SLS, they're using Orion, they're using Gateway, they're using this lander. So this is the most expensive mission. So then they will return to the gateway when all of their work is finished, and then the crew will return to the Earth aboard Orion. So they will travel on the surface of moon using this lander. So after their work is completed, from the lander, they will again return to the gateway, and again from the gateway, they will return to the Orion. And then they will come back to the surface of Earth. So that is the process, how it will go on. Did you all understand?
Yes, Akka.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah. So now the most important point, why is NASA currently now like sending or currently now developing this Artemis mission? So the main aim of Artemis mission is it's like mainly used for the human exploration of Mars. Okay, what is the current? What is everyone striving for in order to go onto the surface of Mars, right? Colonization of Mars. That is the hot burning topic currently. So, for the future existence of human life on Mars, in order to sustain that exploration of human life on Mars, they are going to first explore it on the surface of Moon and experience how it will look like. After that, they will go on to the surface of Mars. So as you know, Moon revolves around Earth. And beyond Earth is Mars, right? First Mercury, Venus, Earth after Mars. In between Earth and Mars, what is present? Moon is present. Is it right or wrong?
Right, Akka.
Yeah, between Earth and Mars, Moon is there. So it will be easy for the astronauts to go onto the Mars from the Moon. Is it right? Going from Earth to directly to Mars, going from Earth onto Mars directly, it's really tough. It will take a long time and there are many other complications. But if you first go on to the Moon and then if you go on to the surface of Mars, it would be easy for them. Yes or no?
Yes, Akka.
Yes,
Yeah.
Akka.
So that is the reason why they are first exploring the Moon and they will like experience how it will feel if you are living on some other external planetary body. Then in the similar way, they will colonize Mars. The main aim is to colonize Mars. For that purpose, they're experiencing or they're doing a lot of research first on the Moon and experience how it will feel like. So they can't directly go onto Mars, right? So first they are doing all of the experiments on Moon, then they'll go on to the surface of Mars. So when will Artemis go to the Moon? You may all get that out. When is it going on the surface of Moon? So basically Artemis will be tested in 3 phases. Artemis 1, Artemis 2 and Artemis 3. In the first phase, that is Artemis 1. So Artemis 1 will launch SLS and Orion with no astronauts. First of all, only the empty rockets will go. There will be no astronauts in it. In the second phase, Artemis 2 will have a crew. They will circle past the Moon and return to Earth. In the second phase, what they'll do, the astronauts will also be there and they'll go to the Moon, but they'll not step onto the surface of Moon. They'll just circle past the Moon. They just revolve around the Moon and immediately they come back to Earth. Finally, in the third phase, in Artemis 3, the Artemis 3 will send crew with the first woman and the next man to land on the Moon. So when do they land on the Moon? In the third phase. If the first 2 phases are successful, then they go to the third phase. Okay, it is in the third phase that both the astronauts will step onto the surface of Moon. Is it clear?
Yes, Akka.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah. So the next question is, what will Artemis astronauts do on the Moon? So what are they going to do after they step on the surface of Moon? So the Artemis 3 in the sense the third phase, the Artemis 3 crew will visit the Moon's south pole itself. So these astronauts will go to the Moon's south pole. No one has ever been there. Until now, no one has ever visited the south pole of the Moon. But as a part of Artemis mission, the astronauts are going to the south pole of the Moon. At the Moon, the astronauts will search for the Moon's water and use it. Okay, we have to understand about the existence of water on the surface of the Moon, right? So they will look for the existence of water on the surface of moon, and they will use that water also. Next, they will also study the moon to discover its mysteries. They will also learn how to live and work on a different planet or moon, which is away from the Earth. Because what I mentioned earlier, the main goal is to live on Mars, right? So first they have to experience how it would feel or how it would look like to work on a planetary body other than Earth. First they should get that experience, right? So that is why first they're getting their experience on moon. After they get the experience on moon, then they can go on to the surface of Mars. Next, they will also test the new tools NASA will need before sending astronauts on missions to Mars. So before sending to Mars, they will also test all the new tools on the surface of moon. And a mission to Mars will take up to 3 years from Earth and back. Okay, so once this is successful, then it will take up to 3 years. A mission to Mars will take up to 3 years from Earth and back. So this is all about Artemis mission. Did you all understand?
Sakka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now I'm going to show you one video. So actually, before showing the video, let me give you one information. Actually, this Artemis mission, it's actually scheduled to launch in 2024. 2024 actually is going to be launched, but like some scientists are saying that it may not be possible by 2024. It may get extended to 2029 because it needs lot of planning and it needs lot of amount of money, right? It's one of the most expensive missions of NASA, it seems. So they need to consider all of those factors and they need to do it. So it may get delayed, but definitely this mission will happen.
So they are planning now, Akka?
Yeah, this mission will definitely happen. They're working on it, but 2024 we are not sure. But by 2029, definitely this mission will be a success.
And technology will also increase.
Yeah. So if we look at the cost, so last year NASA issued a report. NASA issued a report. In that report, it says Artemis will cost $86 billion. $86 billion, it says. It is an assumed cost, but it may be more than that cost. It is assumed cost. So these are all various things they should keep in mind. Okay. So now let's watch one small video so we can get to know about Artemis much better.
Between 1968 and 1972, America launched 9 human missions to the moon.
Is it visible and audible?
Sakka.
Yeah, okay, now watch this.
6 of which successfully touched down, allowing 12 men to walk on the lunar surface. NASA's next chapter of lunar exploration, called Artemis, has the task of not just going to the moon to create a long-term human presence on and around it, but also to prepare for ever more complex human missions to Mars. In short, everything we must be able to do here, we must first do here. So, what will an Artemis mission look like? Everything is designed and tested with our most important element in mind, the astronauts. This is their deep space, human-rated spacecraft called Orion, built in 3 parts. The crew module, where up to 4 astronauts will live and work throughout the flight. The service module, with life support systems for the crew and its own engine and fuel reserves. And a launch abort system, with engines capable of pulling the crew module to safety during launch should anything go wrong. To accomplish the task of launching our crew and heavy payloads, NASA is building the Space Launch System, comprising of a cargo hold, an exploration upper stage, a massive core stage, and 2 extended solid rocket boosters. Altogether, this is the world's most powerful rocket, and it exceeds the legendary Saturn V of the Apollo era in numerous ways. Sitting on the launch pad, the entire rocket, fully fueled, weighs just over 6 million pounds, 5.2 million of which is just the fuel. Once ignited, there is no stopping what comes next. All 4 RS-25 engines and the 2 solid rocket boosters come to life, thundering our crew upwards. 2 minutes after ignition, the solid rocket boosters are spent and released. 8 minutes after launch, the core stage is depleted and separated. The upper stage fires briefly, placing Orion into a parking orbit around the Earth. Here, the crew reconfigure the spacecraft and check systems to confirm everything is ready for deep space travel. With a go from mission control, the crew reignite the exploration upper stage engines to leave Earth entirely. The exact timing of this maneuver is critical to reach a speed that can escape Earth's gravitational pull, but also put Orion on a course that will intersect the Moon days later. Once this burn is complete, the upper stage of the SLS is jettisoned and the crew aboard Orion coast for several days toward all that awaits them at the Moon. Approaching the Moon, we see the fundamental differences between Artemis and Apollo. Instead of requiring Orion to serve as an expendable lunar command module or to carry a constrained lunar lander, the Artemis missions will take advantage of a different approach: pre-staging. Everything needed for lunar missions will be positioned in advance by commercial and international partners. This includes rovers, science experiments, and human-rated systems on the surface. But it also includes a dedicated lunar station in orbit around the Moon called Gateway. Here at this station, we can pre-stage a robust lunar lander and establish a strong communications relay. Designed with open standards, the Gateway can be expanded as new missions and partnerships develop, allowing multiple human missions on the Moon at the same time and enabling ongoing science to be conducted even between human missions. The Gateway is also capable of adjusting its orbit to allow access to every part of the Moon, something the Apollo missions could not do. But the real key in this approach is placing Gateway in a unique halo orbit to perfect the maneuvers needed for Mars missions. And with the growing list of commercial and international opportunities, Gateway is the ideal hub between Earth and all that lies beyond. Returning to our crew as they approach Gateway, the Orion must match the elliptical orbit of the station in order to successfully dock. Once on board, pre-selected crew members transfer to the lunar lander, while those assigned to Gateway remain on station. The lunar lander system itself is built for 3 unique steps: descending from the halo orbit of Gateway down to a low lunar orbit, descending from low lunar orbit to the surface, and once the lunar mission is complete, launching from the surface of the Moon and ascending all the way back to the orbiting Gateway. Once back aboard the Orion spacecraft and undocked from Gateway, the crew fire their engine once to break out of the halo orbit and once again to sling the spacecraft around the Moon, placing it on a multi-day trajectory back towards Earth. As they near the end of this journey, the service module is released, and the crew module is oriented heat shield first. Entering Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, the friction of air slows Orion considerably, while also subjecting it to temperatures of 5,000 degrees. With the Orion now at just 300 miles per hour, a series of parachutes uniquely tested and produced for this moment deploy, decelerating the craft to just 20 miles per hour for splashdown. With each successful mission, Artemis ushers in the next wave of men and women to explore our Moon and prove that together we are ready to go beyond.
Wow, that's really amazing. Is it not?
Yes, Akka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So did you all understand completely about Artemis mission?
Yes, Akka.
Yes, sir.
In the video, they've explained completely each and every detail of how they'll reach the moon, what they'll do on the moon, and their orbiting path and everything. So it's really amazing. Yeah, so this is one of the most prestigious projects that NASA is awaiting to conduct. You know, another interesting fact is this SLS rocket, they're building it from 2011. See, the scientists have been working for almost 10 to 11 years now to build that SLS. Okay, so it's not just a 1 day or 1 month or 1 year task. In order to carry out these missions, lots of effort, hundreds of scientists keep on working, okay, to make a mission successful. So all the great minds put together make a mission really successful. So let's all hope that this Artemis mission will be a great success that will allow the human life to explore more about moon and then eventually lead to Mars, because this Artemis mission is the base. Everything depends upon this Artemis mission. If this Artemis mission is really big success, then we can get to understand about how it would feel if we live on other planetary body, and then eventually the colonization of Mars will become an easy task. Okay, I mean, we can get to know how it would look like if we then go on to the surface of Mars. So this is a base for everything. So did you all understand everything about Artemis mission?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you all for joining. You can leave.